You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's mixlr.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com. Bitcoin, Ether, Solana, Doge, and more. Cryptocurrencies and digital assets are taking the financial world by storm. This exploding market provides everything a savvy trader needs: volatility, volume, and liquidity, provided you know how to find it. That's where we come in. Welcome to the Crypto Rundown. Each week, we'll break down the latest trading activity, trends, and developments throughout the world's leading crypto derivatives markets. If it's moving the crypto markets, then you'll find it on the Crypto Rundown. The Crypto Rundown is brought to you by Amber Data. If you're entering the digital asset class, you'll need access to granular on-chain and market data from multiple venues to power research, trading, risk management, and compliance. Amber Data delivers comprehensive data and insights into blockchain networks, crypto markets, and decentralized finance, empowering financial institutions to apply traditional finance methods to digital assets. Amber Data eliminates the infrastructure setup, integration challenges, and maintenance headaches to access digital asset data, reducing cost and time to market to enter the digital asset class. Learn more and download their digital asset data guide at www.amberdata.io. Now it's time to dive into the exploding world of crypto derivatives. It's time for the Crypto Rundown.
All right, everybody. That music means we are back once again for a little bit of the old crypto rundown. We take a nice sampler from the world of crypto derivatives, see what's lighting up our tapes out there today. My name, of course, Mark Longo from the THEOptionsInsider.com. Three things to remind you of at the top of the show. A, if you're not listening to the full network, man, you're missing out. Nearly a dozen shows coming at you. So get on over wherever you're getting this and make sure you get the full Options Insider Radio Network feed. You're going to like it. B, if you do like what you hear, I think you will, but if you do like what you hear, throw a star, a like, a comment, a rating, a review, whatever your platform lets you do. It does help new people continue to discover ye old content. And 3, if you're down for a little bit of the old pro, only one place to go, theoptionsinsider.com/pro, the place for great pro Q&As. Got a guy who created a great crypto volatility index and product joining us on the pro Q&A hot seat. Probably have a question or two, I should say, about that. So head on over there, theoptionsinsider.com/pro. Join us for our pro Q&A sessions. Join us for Options Oddities. Join us live for everything else we do throughout the week. Join us for giveaways like our great pro trading crate. Congratulations to Mr. Wolfpack, our winner of the October pro trading crate. Get your name in the hat for November, theoptionsinsider.com/pro. Just the facts, ma'am, edition of the show this week. Don't worry, we'll roll off the crypto hot seat again next week as we keep on rolling into the Bitcoin breakdown.
It's time to explore the latest trending activity, trends, and developments across the world's leading crypto market. It's time for the Bitcoin Breakdown.
All right, everybody, let's do it. Let's dive into all the action in the world's leading digital asset. We're talking about the big dog, which is Bitcoin, looking a wee bit bigger again this week than it was last week. Remember, the narrative for a while has been, can it maintain above 30K? Well, the answer this week is yes, and then some. Not only were you north of 30K, we're north of 35K, if ever so slightly, 35,066 in Bitcoin when we kicked off the show today. That puts us up about 716 handles from where we were this time last week, a little bit north of 34,300 on the show this time last week. It had a little bit of a intra-week swing, as you might imagine. The low coming right after our show last week of 34,083. So we never even broke 34,000 to the dark side. To the upside, threatening 36K. Didn't quite get there. Got pretty close on Thursday last week, 35,920. So a nice range, settling out right in the middle of it again at 35,000 and change right now. But a decent range. That means vol staying frothy. Also, as we have discovered in the world of Bitcoin, when you tend to drift north, you do see the vol increase. It is very much the inverse of what we see in a lot of the traditional equity options that you may be used to out there, listeners. Usually when you go up in those, vol comes in. Just look at VIX. That's a great example of that. But in Bitcoin, a little bit different. Things start to get frothy as you get to the upside. People get optimistic. People want to buy and they want to hodl. They want to get long as you continue to go up, not the other way around. So we see the vol continuing to get frothy as you work our way up. And that is the case again this week. We were a little bit shy of 52 on the 30-day vol last week, 51.8 on the show last week. This week, 54.3. So popping about 2.5 points on the week. So again, looking frothy back to the mid-50s. Again, we were just in the mid to high 20s not too long ago, so nearly 30 points coming back on the vol tape. Again, remember, we said when we got to that level in Bitcoin and indeed ETH vol, we said, maybe start paying attention. Might be an interesting time to buy some premium, and at least so far that has worked out pretty well. Let's go out to the longer term vol. Let's go out 6 months, see what's cooking out there. And the vol out there is looking pretty juicy. It was a 57.1 on the show last week. This week, 61 3/4, so over a 60 when you get out 6 months, which is, again, that's pretty juicy. You look at our TWIFO show, our This Week in Futures option show. Not many asset classes we talk about there, but all the things that trade on CME, which is pretty much everything, with the exception of maybe natural gas right now, that is going to rival this. So Bitcoin, once again, getting back into some rarefied, volatile air. Can it maintain it? We shall see. Let's get out to the Skew and see what's cooking out there. Well, last week on the show, we were looking at almost a positive 8, about 7 3/4. And we're in a similar ballpark this week, about a positive 7. So again, very heavily biased to the upside right now. Again, if you're not familiar with Skew, that just shows you the volatility levels of the 25 Delta call, the 25 Delta put. Right now, the 25 Delta call trading at about a 7-point premium to the 25 Delta put. And if all of that is Greek to you, check out Options Bootcamp, Options Playbook Radio on the network here, listeners. That will help you come to grips with all of these terms we're throwing around here on the show. Let's go out to a standard 1-month Skew. See what's cooking out there. And it was pretty positive on the show last week, 6 1/4. Looking a little bit more positive, but not much this week, about 6 3/4. So getting a little bit frostier, a little bit frothier to the upside, but nothing crazy out there. Still, again, biased to the upside as you would expect as we continue to threaten 35K and above. Let's go out 6 months, and that Skew had a positive 8 last week. This week at a positive 10. So you're talking those calls are trading at a full 10 vol points higher than the puts right now, which is, again, very, very interesting to see out there. Let's go out to the OI and see what's cooking out there, listeners. And it's always more calls than puts. Again, that feeds back into that upside bias that we see in most of the crypto assets, including Bitcoin. The calls hanging out right now, 242,000 contracts open on Deribit right now. That's actually down 1,000 from this time last week. The puts at about 107,000, so up about 3,000. So you're talking almost 2.5 to 1 calls over puts, which is actually kind of light for Bitcoin. We've seen it much higher. And let's get on out to a product a lot of you like to sling when Bitcoin is north of 35K. That is BITO. 1770 right now, up about 1/4 point on the week, a little bit less out there. In terms of ADV, though, that's where we're starting to see the action. This thing is roaring back to life now. It was languishing sub 20K not too long ago. Used to be north of 90, almost 100,000 contracts a day. Getting back in that range again, about 50,000 contracts, 49,000 contracts a day going up. That's up a whopping 12,000 from this time last week. So BITO clearly back on a lot of your radar out there. Today looking kind of like 28,000, but again, the day is young. We'll see if we get up there. And in terms of vol, actually coming in, but the vol number last week was kind of weird. It was kicking out of 62. I thought that looked a little wonky at the time. It's coming into a little bit more reasonable 52 out there right now. Puts it down 10 points, but still obviously very, very active out there. Let's see if any more paper has gone up. About 29,000, so not much of a change out there. In terms of top positions in BITO right now, let's do a quick top 5 before we roll on out to the altcoin universe. Number 5, we have 29, almost 30,000 of the Jan 2025 20s. Number 4, 42, almost 43,000 of the Jan 2020. It's all 2025 with the exception of one. I'll let you know when, listeners. 43,000 of the Jan 25s. Number 3, 69,000 of the Jan 35s. Number 2, 83,000 of the Jan 2024. So next year, 65 calls. And the number 1 size position in BITO options right now, 97,000 of the Jan 2025 30 calls. So again, longer term upside does seem to be the order of the day. Let's see what the order of the day is as we explore the altcoin universe.
It's time to move beyond Bitcoin and find out what's moving the rest of the crypto marketplace. It's time to boldly venture into the altcoin universe.
All right, everybody, welcome to the altcoin universe, the portion of the show where we break down everything lighting it up outside of the big dog, which is Bitcoin. Except for right now, when we break down the top 10, kind of hard to escape Bitcoin in that conversation. What are the top 10 from a market cap perspective? Let's find out, listeners. Number 10, we got our old friend Tron still holding out at the number 10 spot, 8.6, almost 8.7 billion worth of market cap. Number 9, Doge. Our buddy Greg was joking about Doge last week, thinking that the whole Musk connection could drive it to some frothier levels. Well, it's looking pretty good right now. Number 9 still, but almost 11 billion worth of market cap, 10.7 billion worth of market cap. So that's a pretty impressive level for good old Doge. Number 8 is Cardano, almost 13 billion, 12.9 billion. Number 7, it's Solana, 16, just a tick under 17 billion out there for Solana listeners. Number 6, USD Coin, 24, almost 24.5 billion worth of market cap. Number 5, XRP, 38.25 billion, looking in the 70 odd cent range now. So looking a little bit frothier. This rising tide of Bitcoin seems to be lifting all boats out there. Number 4, BNB, 38.3 billion. Number 3 is Tether, 85.4 billion. Number 2, it's ETH, 228, almost 229 billion. And the big dog looking bigger this week is Bitcoin, 685 billion worth of market cap. Let's get out to ETH, see what's cooking out there. And the answer is upside. 1901, that's where we're hanging out in ETH when we kicked off the show. Listeners, puts it up exactly 101 points. It was exactly 1,800 on the show last week. So nice little run for ETH. Today it topped out at about 1914. That was the top for the week as well. And the low came pretty much right after our show last week of 1779. So a decent little range out there in ETH on the week, which again is why we're seeing vol remain frothy out there. It was a 47 on the show last week. 54 this week. So looking juicier out there. And yet again, trading at pretty much the exact same level as Bitcoin vol. We were talking about that with our buddy Greg on the show last week as well. For a long time, ETH just seemed like it was structurally more volatile. It was going to be just trading at higher vol levels. As Greg was mentioning on the show last week, there have been some size overriders that have come into ETH options that does seem to have tamped down the vol quite a bit, even though they are trading at the exact same level pretty much right now, give or take a few fractions of a point out there. So can ETH vol stay down with all these overriders? I guess we'll find out. Is it going to blow past Bitcoin vol again? We shall see. Let's go out to a little bit longer term. Let's go out to 180 days. Last week on the show was 52.4. This week, 61. So longer term vol really skyrocketing out there in ETH land. Back in a 60 handle. Skew-wise, same deal, 4 3/4 last week, so it was biased to the positive, biased to the upside last week. This week, 8 3/4, so gaining a full 4 points from a weekly skew perspective. A similar deal going out a month, listeners, 30-20 skew on the 30-day skew, listeners out there. 4.5 to the upside last week, so biased to the upside. This week, 8.7, so again, gaining over 4 points on the 30-day skew. 6 months, same deal. The skew just popping hard to the upside, listeners. 5.8 last week, 10.7 this week. So 6 month skew looking pretty frothy to the upside as well. In terms of OI, 2.25 million calls open on Deribit right now. It's up about 120,000 from this time last week. And the puts, 890,000. They're up 18,000 on the week. So again, about little under 3-to-1 calls over puts out there in ETH. That's actually kind of light. We've seen it 4-to-1 and higher in the past. So intriguing stuff out there. Let's see what's intriguing out there in the realm of some of the other digital assets out there. Let's go out to Solana, hitting a 40 handle right now, 40.30. That puts it up almost 540. It was a 34.93 on the show last week. So a nice pop for Solana. XRP, I was just talking about it, 57.8 cents last week, 71.3 cents this week. So nearly a 14 cent pop So nice run here for XRP. Getting back to those levels we flirted with right after the decision a few months ago. So can XRP maintain it? Recently, the answer has been no, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe the rising tide will continue to rise. Listeners, a good old Doge, 6.8 cents on the show last week, 7.5 cents this week. Litecoin, 68.9 cents last week, 73.8 cents this week, up nearly 5 handles, 492. Cardano, 29.8 cents last week, 36.6 cents this week, up nearly 7 cents. Polkadot, 431 last week, 489 this week, up nearly 60 cents. And even good old Shiba getting a lift. It was 0.000071 last week. This week it is 0.000084. Before we get out of here, listeners, let's tackle some of your crypto questions.
You've got questions about crypto. Who doesn't? It's time to find out the answers to your crypto questions.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Crypto Questions, a portion of the show where you folks take the reins, your questions, your comments, your insights, your pearls of wisdom. This week's question comes from FKA. Maybe he's a wrestling fan of our Monday 80s wrestling trivia game on the old option block. FKA could stand for formerly known as, who knows? FKA wants to know, is it worth adding Solana options back onto the show? And just saying, FKA hit a 40 handle this week, so that's an impressive level considering it was at a 19 not too long ago. So more than 2x out there in Solana land. The short answer, though, for you, even though the underlying levels are impressive, the short answer is no. Remember, we had him on the show not too long ago. We were starting to work Solana into the mix. It seemed like it was going to be the third big player from a crypto derivatives perspective. Then, of course, all of FTX happened. Really just took the wind out of the Solana sails, and it really killed the burgeoning Solana options market. There was a decent options market starting to grow, starting to get some liquidity, and then it all kind of just fell apart. No one really needed a lot of Solana options when it was trading, 14 or 9, all that kind of stuff. So now that it's a 40 handle, we shall see. Can it maintain this level, or is it just going to kind of revert back to where it was? If it can maintain this level and people start to have some confidence in it again, we might see that nascent Solana options market start to grow again. Right now, looking at all of our traditional data sources, none of them really even have Solana included anymore. So the options flow out there, not really much to speak of. If that changes, though, we'll be the first to let you know, FKA, if we start to see meaningful and interesting liquidity, meaningful and interesting options flows out in Solana. I'm not averse to incorporating it back into the show. What do you folks think, listeners? Think we should start talking Solana options again? Again, there's not much to talk about right now, but we maintain a 40 handle and above. That could change. If that's the case, are you intrigued? You want to start adding Solana into the rotation again, or stay with our primary focus of ETH and Bitcoin? I'll leave it up to you folks. You are the ultimate arbiters at the end of the day. All right, everybody, that is going to do it for us on this Just the Facts, ma'am, edition of the Crypto Rundown. I hope you're having a great trading week out there. If you're holding Bitcoin and all these other assets, you're probably got a big smile on your face compared to just a few weeks or a month ago. So keep it up out there, listen. We'll keep it up on the network here throughout the rest of the week. Of course, tomorrow I mentioned we'll be joined by our buddy Mr. Simon Ho, the creator not just of Spikes, which is a great equity volatility measure, but also BitVol, one of the first Bitcoin volatility measures. We'll get an update on that, what's going on from a crypto vol perspective, and everything else. So if you haven't joined us for the Pro yet, man, you're missing out. Great opportunity coming at you tomorrow. TheOptionsInsider.com/pro, the place to go to learn more about all of that. Then on Wednesday, we'll have our Education Wednesday, which you folks should be checking out. Options Bootcamp, a great one for you. Also, an early episode of This Week in Futures Options. We'll be joined by Blue Putnam, the chief economist over there at the CME. He's always got great research, great data on all sorts of products. Will crypto make it onto his research radar? Join us for an early episode on Wednesday to find out. If you like crypto, This Week in Futures Options, one of the few other shows on the network that really delves into it in any great capacity. So check out that one. Thursday, the option block coming at you. Friday, volatility views. And for all you pro folks, coming back after that for Options Oddities. And we're back again next Monday. Our buddy Greg Magadini, he can't stay away. He's going to be back in the crypto hot seat, tackling all of your questions and comments and insights and just everything else going on in the world of crypto derivatives. So it should be a fun one. So we'll see you back here next Monday, another episode of the Crypto Rundown. Stay safe out there, everybody.
The Crypto Rundown is brought to you by Amber Data. If you're entering the digital asset class, you'll need access to granular on-chain and market data from multiple venues to power research, trading, risk management, and compliance. Amber Data delivers comprehensive data and insights into blockchain networks, crypto markets, and decentralized finance, empowering financial institutions to apply traditional finance methods to digital assets. Amber Data eliminates the infrastructure setup, integration challenges, and maintenance headaches to access digital asset data, reducing cost and time to market to enter the digital asset class. Learn more and download their digital asset data guide at www.amberdata.io. You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's mixlr.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.